There we go. Live initiated. We are now live, and apparently people are actually getting notified now, so that's good news. We uploaded another. If anyone missed the live feed last, it is uploaded to the BitChute channel. So rest assured, for everyone saying, "Dude, you go live when it's midnight. You go where we're in their time zone," or "Dude, you go. I missed your live." You can go to the BitChute and rewatch it. That's in the link in my bio as well. So don't worry about that. Also, if you're subscribed to my mailing list, you just got an email we sent out to yesterday, which was quite. I'm surprised because you got to understand something. When I first sent out the first email on this new email service, that basically you get a bunch of people signed up for the mailing list, then you send out an email. The first email I sent out got my account restricted by this email service provider that sends out emails to everyone. And so I was like, dude, are you kidding me? And so it turns out that you can't talk about certain things, even on these mailing list providers, because they get chirped by a corporation saying, look, they're promoting this or that. So it's very strange. So my point is that I had to tone it down. I had to change the header and the footer and the inside of this email, because you got to watch out what you say. But I can say more than on here for sure. So make sure to sign up for the email. You go to connectingconsciousness.com. And someone said, and by the way, anyone who has specific questions they want answered, they have a higher chance of getting answered if you type it in to the question box at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That's what I would do. Kick back, create, about to kick you out, man. What's going on? That's a rhetorical question. You're talking smack. What's up? You going to tune in, join in the live and have a good time, or am I going to kick you out, man? Let me know. Yes, exactly. Hey, bro, does the US and Europe have Charter of Freedoms? Yes, you guys have a Magna Carta in the UK. Exactly, Kev, Neve, exactly, man. It's very strange how they're pushing this, that even a mailing service provider has little... Of course, you can't promote anything illegal. You can't call for violence. Like, not even Telegram will let you call for violence. But, which is, rightly so. But the thing is that even just talking about something that's so controversial that I have to... Basically, this is what's going to happen. When I finally get... And this website is coming along, by the way. I'm getting an update from it today. When this website is live and I'm able to go on there, I will be able to send out an email saying, get on my live feed on my website right now, and we will talk about this thing that I've been trying to tell everyone about, but I can't on here, and I can, and I do on Telegram, but especially on a live feed on my website will be insane. To sign up for the email is in the link in my bio. Yes, in the link in my bio, you'll see it's a link tree. There's a bunch of links. You can click the Telegram. You want to join the Telegram channel, you can click the website. You can add your email to the website, connectingconsciousness.com. Anyone who's trying to be an affiliate, Chalk does have a specific limited amount of slots available to become an affiliate. They're reviewing applications to be an affiliate with Chalk. You can earn 20% commission. You get free Chalk. So yes, exactly. You need a United Nations map behind you. Yeah, imagine that, if I had the United Nations flag behind me, and everyone knows what... If you see trucks with a UN flag going down your streets, you better run for the hills, boy, or get in the panic room. If your house has a panic room, insulated, ventilated, concrete bomb shelter, basically, that's what you want to get in if you see the UN trucks going down your street, boy. So yes, very good question. Moving out of New York, it's going to get crazier. I don't know if it's going to get crazy in New York. All I know is this. If you're in any major city, and I'm not trying to freak you out, but think about it for a sec. Even if you're in a rural area, but if you're in a major city, within 3 hours of a cyber attack, which are instituted by powers within our own governments, you would have a very strange situation where if you don't have a way to defend yourself, good luck. If you don't have any extra, maybe a bit of water, a bit of food, good luck. I mean, this is what I'm saying. People are vastly... The way the system works today is it's a just-in-time delivery. Your grocery stores, these stores that have food have 3 days worth of food maximum. And if a cyber attack or anything happens, all of a sudden there'll be no food within hours. And then what? Wait around for the government to give you a handout? In order to get into their facility, you need the you-know-what? I don't know. I'm not trying to think of a negative situation here. I'm just realistically considering what happened, for example, when there's isolated crises or crises around the world, and what happens and how the government intervenes and things like that. It's something to be very, aware of, especially if you live anywhere where you can grow food year round. You want to have a couple different type of trees grown in your backyard to give you food. And then you also want to be able to defend yourself from them. There's a lot of good prepper videos on YouTube, by the way, if you want to, learn and see a bit more in depth in this. This person said, I'm not worried. The United Nations will save us. I can't tell if that person is kidding or what, dude. But I can tell you this, that in Africa, when the United Nations trucks roll up to a small village, the villagers run for the hills. They run for the hills. They don't want what they're trying to give them. That's all I'm going to say. Let's see. And people who are reading between the lines know what I'm talking about. I saw a video saying taxes is not law. I saw the video saying paying taxes is not a law. What are your thoughts on that? That is true that there is no law that specifically indicates that you need to pay income tax. It is based on basically it's pretty much voluntary. And then they will put on you saying it's tax evasion, it's this, it's that, but it's actually not... it is not a law. There is no law that states you have to pay 30-40% of your income to the government. And that is the fact that is, and I mean, this is what I'm going to say. The fact that they will enforce that with violence, in other words, what happens if you don't pay taxes? Well, you're breaking the law. What happens if you continue to not pay taxes? They will come and arrest you. What happens if you don't want to be arrested and you try to fight back? You will be physically harmed. So they enforce taxation. They say, pay up, or we will hurt you or put you in jail and take you to a place. Like, that is no different than a mafia-style shakedown. Now, you may be thinking, well, dude, but what about the roads? Well, the gas taxes already go to the roads, okay? And by the way, anything that's ever ran by the institutions like government versus a private company is always ran much more inefficiently. For example, there's certain properties where I am where you can't build a house on it unless it has frontage on a public road. So for example, there's many properties that you can only get to by a private road or by a road allowance. Okay, a 66 feet, which is very funny that in between all 100 acre parcels of land is a 66 foot road allowance. And again, which is just funny that they picked 66. You have to ask if you can develop the road allowance, which is, whatever. My point is this: you got to apply to be able to get a permit to build a house on property that you bought. That's very strange that we have given the government the authority to tell us if we can build a property or build a structure on our own property. It is so alien to our ancestors. They would literally puke if they found out that we go up to the, the municipal or the state building and say, hello, Mr. Government, can you please allow me to build something on my land which I just purchased and I pay taxes on and I bought? Anyways, so we shouldn't allow them to do that. Makes no sense. But in order to get a property that is zoned as a open space property, meaning you can't build a house on it, but you could build a shack on it. You could build something less than 10 by 10 or 10 by 10. You can build a hunt camp on it. You can put a trailer on it. You can do all kinds of stuff, but you can't build a full-blown house on this certain land that is zoned in this certain way. Now, to get it to be zoned, to be able to build on it, it needs to be connected to a public road. So there's a property that has a road allowance that goes all the way to it, but it is not a public road. It is a road allowance. In order to get it turned into a road allowance, you have to ask the town, and you have to, they will decide if it should be developed into a road. Well, ideally, you can just pay a company that builds the road for you right away because you pay them directly instead of indirectly with taxes. And then you can call the town and say, hey, there's a road here. And they would say, okay, sure, your property is now zoned. So my point is this: the government isn't out there building the roads. It's construction companies. that get contracted with the government, but it's not the government building the roads. So in other words, instead of mandatory, you piss away 30-40% of your income and you don't really get updated on where that's going. And some of that gets updated. Some of that gets allocated on teaching that critical race theory thing, which is completely divisive. And of course, another way to divide the armies of humans against each other, so we don't focus on the real threat that's trying to enslave us. And the other thing that they spend money on, we find out, is all kinds of, very interesting things that you would not pay for if they asked you if they can spend your taxes on this certain institution or this certain project that they want. So anyways, is paying taxes not the law? No, it is not the law, but good luck getting away with not paying your taxes. You basically have to start a full-time job researching the laws and legalities, what you got to say. There are people who literally do not pay taxes and they're not arrested, and they have businesses, and they don't have a driver's license, and they've revoked their citizenship for just a certificate of live birth, and then they're this sovereign person and whatnot. That's literally all super cool, but it is not easy in the slightest. It is extremely difficult. You got to know exactly what you're doing. It could take years of research. And to be honest, it is, that's one of the ways that we take back power. But holy shit, man, who has time for that? You want to read a book this thick about laws and regulations and shit about how you don't have to pay taxes and how the way to go about it? It's not easy. It's not easy. So, but it is very interesting that is this whole system that is set up around us is based on a complete it's based on us remaining ignorant, because if we aren't ignorant to it, we will wake up from it. All of these secret symbols in law, all these secret symbols in the regulations and whatnot they have put on us. Like, for example, you ever seen that video of the guy talking about how this is the law of water or something? It's a very obscure discussion, but it's like, look, you got liquid assets, cash flow, liquidity, river bank. Think about that. You got you're underwater if you're not making money. You got and there's hundreds of different allegories about water to do with money and the economy. And that's because, well, someone else can explain it in more depth, but it's maritime law. That's basically maritime law of the sea. It's a very deep subject, but it is very interesting. So we barely understand this whole legal system that's put in front of us that we have to abide by. Otherwise, they try to lock us up. But there's little loopholes to get out of it. I also heard that there's something called, I was watching a video on YouTube, and this video got deleted and I didn't get to download it, and I don't see it on the person's website. So there was a guy called Jerry Day. His YouTube channel is called Minivan Jack, and he has an entire video on how we're at war. And he talks about how this is a war, how obvious it is that we are in a war, and it's not the type of war that you imagine, but it's a totally different kind of war. And I watched this video and I was like, holy crap, dude, this is a sweet video. Like, I can't believe this is on YouTube. And sure enough, a day later, I go to watch it again and download it, and it's been deleted. I go to his website, it's not there. So unfortunately, I can't show you this video, and I definitely wouldn't show you it on here anyway. That's the type of thing I put in the Telegram. The name is, his YouTube channel is Minivan Jack. He has some of the best videos that I have seen. He's a great guy. But unfortunately, he just got this post wiped from his YouTube channel. And talked about how we're at war. And one of the things that he said is that it is not a coincidence that they have you distracted with hundreds of different things at the same damn time. Hundreds of things at the same damn time. You got all these different ingredients to avoid. You got these brainwashing TV shows to avoid. You got the political system, which is largely a distraction now. They got you these, movies, entertainment, all this stuff. And it's a lot to process if you're coming from a place of where you think the government's your friend, they're looking out for you, they're trying to keep you safe, the school system's to educate you and make you smart. And all this type of thing is very, very, it's all at once. Especially, like I said, if you're just going from thinking that everything's to make you safe. For example, we literally have documents that for 50 years, the CIA has worked towards controlling all the media and brainwashing everyone. Yeah, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard, Natasha. So I'll just kick you out. I'm not even going to get into that ridiculous statement. But yes, so my point is that they have been fully outed in the fact that they agreed to brainwash the population. And then now you're a conspiracy theorist if you try to tell people about it. If you try to tell people about it. Which is just insane that is even going on. You try to tell someone, yo, it's crazy, man. The media is owned by these corporations that want to actually trick you and give you false information. And someone goes, no, man, no way. That's a conspiracy. It's hard to actually fathom how deep this actually goes. But what he was talking about, Jerry Day, his name's Minivan Jack, is that, and you've heard me say it before, but it is true, that at the end of the day, if they were not altering the function of our biological systems, of our bodies, if they are not altering your system intentionally with their lab-made creations, then they would not be where they are right now in terms of how far they've gotten into mind controlling us to accept the Agenda 21 plan that they have in the human system right now. It's very strange. And someone, on this account, they just said, a shaman said they're playing God. Yeah, well, they think that the prime creator is something to be rebelled against. The true actual cult of people who are controlling this system are rebelling against. It's a rebellion against the prime creator, the natural life force energy, the natural divinity of the natural world. They are opposed to, because that is what gives us strength. That's why they're trying to weaken our connection to this natural world around us. This is why they try to cluster everyone into a concrete jungle with frequencies, little to no areas to ground, bare feet on the ground, stuck in traffic, big matrix energy systems. I was just driving the other day, and it's just amazing, people in their cars restricting their respiratory passages. This system doesn't care who you are. They want you all eventually put into a 5G smart city. I just watched that video. I finished watching the video about how Saudi Arabia is creating a really cool, nifty new city that's one big straight line, and it's no longer than like 20 or 30 miles wide across the whole thing. And then it goes all the way across for like 130 miles, and it's 30 miles wide. So at any point, you're no further than 15 miles away from being outside of the city. If you're in the middle of the line, you're only 15 miles in either direction to get outside of the city. So this isn't the first time this idea has been thought of, by the way, because they already have in the past talked about, that's a really good idea. Instead of a city growing like this, and then if you're in the middle of the city, you're hundreds of, you're hours away from getting out of the city. It's one big straight line. And then all the infrastructure is in the middle, and then there's houses on the outside. That's a cool idea. But the problem is that this city is not about making sure that you get closer and closer to your natural environment. They've removed roads. There's no roads planned in this city, in this smart city that they're trying to put up in Saudi Arabia. No roads. Instead, there's transport tunnels underneath this city that they're planning that you get into a train that's owned by the government, and that's how you get around the city. And there's no vehicles, no vehicle ownership. It's literally, Highborn just said it. It is a prison. It is a prison. I bet you will not be able to buy property in this city. It's all renting because they're going to say it's not sustainable. You already heard it, okay? You already heard it, that they say you will own nothing and you will be damn happy. So Dubai is creating a smart city. No way to leave unless they let you leave. You could try walking, but there's going to be, someone's joining this right now. They're like, dude, what are you talking about, man? That's such a conspiracy. Woo! What I'm saying is this. Every single country in the world, type in your city, wherever you live. On the city website, Search up sustainable development. Type that in. Type in sustainable development on your city's official website, and you will see a whole bunch of goals they have to become more sustainable. Well, sustainable is a trick word that they use. It's a code word for restricting your rights and freedoms. You may never, ever hear this anywhere else. You won't hear this on the TV. You won't hear this on the radio. You won't hear this in movies. Maybe movies if they hide it in plain sight. But they are tricking the population, making it sound like that they're trying to make you in a more sustainable place to save the environment, when it's in fact to try to put you into a 5G smart city that they say is sustainable. So if you type in sustainable development on your city's website, you will see that they have, that is Agenda 21 right there. And Agenda 21 is to inventory and control all aspects of our lives to save the climate, which they don't give a shit about. So it's a complete myth. I know I'm preaching to the choir. Most of you already know all of this, but hey, it's some people are joining and they've never heard. Like, for example, someone in here, we've talked about, last time I was on here, I said, if you've ever heard of atrazine, or if you haven't heard of atrazine, you haven't heard the story with Tyrone Hayes about atrazine, let me know. And 20 people said, I never heard that story. I thought I told that story 100 times on here. And no one, there was dozens of people who did not know about atrazine and the plan to put this chemical in our food and water and what that does to the human mind and how that makes it easier to control the human system. It's very strange. And that's exactly what this guy was saying, Jerry Day, on his Minivan Jack YouTube channel. He was saying, look, they require you to be in an altered state of consciousness in order for all their evil plans to come to fruition. That is why they're rebelling against God. You could say they're rebelling against the prime creator, and they're rebelling against anything natural. Just like what the situation is with hospital births today. Very, very strange. That's all I can say. It seems like they have been pushing to rebel against the natural order of things. That's why they're trying to put you in an unnatural state. Why do you think 95% of food at the grocery store is unnatural? The meats are fed hormones, antibiotics, and GMOs. Most of the 95% of the prepackaged foods are GMO, unnatural. Most of the produce, if they're not organic, and even if they are organic, sprayed with pesticides. Do you think it is, let me ask you, do you literally think that it is a coincidence that 95% of the shit at our grocery stores are unnatural? You can't fathom that there may be a plan to make everything unnatural, that they're fully against the natural world? When there's a little tiny, eeny, miny, fucking mo natural aisle of the food store, of the grocery store, that says natural foods on it, what does that make the rest of the store? Seriously, think about it. They are trying to make a different species of human that's not biological anymore. That is instead merged with artificial intelligence, DNA altered with genetically modified foods. I mean, where do you see this going? It seems like there's a rebellion against biological life forms, against human beings. Please, get me on the phone with Biden, man. Trying to protect Americans. Are you, dude? Then how is it that atrazine is still allowed to be sprayed? How is it that glyphosate is still allowed to be sprayed? How is it that they're still putting MSG and genetically modified foods into your food and water? I guess there's no GMOs in water, but there probably is trace contaminants of it, of the chemicals anyway. So this is me. This is my question. Alex T 33.3 said, transhumanism is their goal, is their end goal. Their end goal is to make you disconnected from your natural state of consciousness. That's it. Very strange. You may be thinking, someone's tuning in, they're like, dude, this is negative, man. What the hell is this guy talking about? Well, something that they don't want you thinking about. Put it that way. Mahresh Raj said, are you reading notes behind the camera? I'm not. Yes, exactly. They are pushing for, and it just goes to show, like, if you go to Walmart, and you look at the lineup of people and what they have in their cart, you'd want to go up to them and say, yo, follow Connecting Consciousness on Instagram, man. Follow YouTube, GMO, find out what you're eating and you don't want it. And avoid that stuff and start helping a local farmer, funding a local farmer. That's the only way. Otherwise, we will see ourselves become infertile, depopulated, genetically modified, and in a state of consciousness where we may not even be able to wake up from our slumber. If we are going to continue down this road. This is why, as this guy said it, Minivan Jack on YouTube, he's a great account. He said, look, the only way that this comes to fruition is if we're in a lowered state. If we are in a lowered state, that's the only way. Now listen, every single human being who heightens their state of consciousness is worth, and I'm not trying to say we're worth more, I'm not trying to say we're better than, but if you're decalcified, defluoridated, fully organic, you're grounding, you're eating organic, you're eating heirloom foods, you're detoxing, you're superfooding, your state of consciousness is worth hundreds of thousands of fully calcified sheep. Someone's going to screenshot that and go, dude, this guy just fucking said that we are... No, listen, it's true. Your consciousness is worth more, is more powerful, I should say, than people's consciousnesses who are calcified. That's it. Sorry, it is a fact. You're drinking fluoride, you're showering in tap water, you're not eating organic, you're eating pesticides, you're eating GMOs, your shit is out of whack. Your hormones out of whack. You're a guy with 2% the testosterone you should have. You're a lady with 2% of the estrogen you should have. We're getting reverse endocrine systemed here because of these chemicals. All I'm going to say is this. That's their plan. So do not adhere to their plan. Do not allow yourself to be an experiment of these corporations. Please. And if I find out that you are still eating GMO food, I will be showing up to your house. I'll be saying, hey, why don't you try taking the chalk purified Shilajit to optimize your endocrine system, to detox yourself from the toxic pesticides and chemicals and pollutants that you don't want. Detox yourself with a superfood that boosts testosterone for men and balances hormones for women. I'd come to your house and I'd say, if you don't take this right now, did you guys see my video? I'm going to post it on my main account today. It's very funny. You will laugh, but I'll tell you about it later. It's on my TV account. It's one of my recent posts. Or the Action 2.0. I'd say if you don't start taking the Action 2.0 and start restoring your vitality, I'm about to lay down the law right here, man. I'm about to open this bottle and I'm going to tell you every single benefit of each different ingredient. I'm gonna, that's what I'm gonna have to do. Because if you are still eating GMOs and fluoride and pesticides and toxins, you are weighing down humanity. I'm not trying to make you feel bad about it, but I will say this. If you have a phone in your hand, you have the computer, you're connected to the entire internet in your hand, and you aren't aware of what you're eating, where it's coming from, where it's grown, what's sprayed on it, and you haven't researched any of these things, but you know what Kylie Jenner's doing, you know what some other glue bag is up to, you know what some celebrity is saying, you're following your latest this or that, but you don't know what you're eating, you don't know where it's grown, you don't know what's sprayed on it. I'm going to show up to your house. No, I'm just kidding. But I will say this, like that you are kind of weighing down humanity. Now, if you're becoming aware of this, I'm not sitting up here, I'm so much better than anyone because I eat organic, yada, yada, yada. No, because I at one point ate GMO-ass food too. And it's because I didn't know. And that's fine. I don't regret it. I don't feel bad about it. It is what it is. But now that you are beginning to know, do not suppress that knowing in your body and put it off, and don't continue your path towards becoming the best version of your damn self. Lynn Jink said it's about vibrations. Well, it is exactly about vibrations, because remember, your endocrine system, your brain, and your heart together create a magnetic force field. That magnetic force field interacts with the force field of the earth that they are trying to make a synthetic version of. They're trying to make a synthetic version of the earth's natural electromagnetic force field by spraying chemtrails and then cranking up the 5G towers, the cell towers, the this, the that, etc., which is very, very strange. They're trying to create a synthetic web of energy frequencies, electromagnetic fields, to cut you off from the natural one. Look, we may have a fight on our hands going forward in the future, folks. We may very well have a fight. Maybe it's already in the midst of, maybe we are in the middle of the fight right now. And what I truly believe is that the only way, it's not to go out there physically grab someone and shake them up, pull up to Rothschild's house and say, dude, you bastard. That's not how we're going to get out of this mess. Because they are just a figurehead. The real evil system that is behind the this entire control system does not reside. I'm only going to say this once. The real root of the evils that are happening in this world do not originate in the dimension that we are in right now. That's it. That's it. It is spiritual warfare. That's all I'm going to say. Purified Shilajit, increase your endocrine system function, boost brain function, energy levels, memory, concentration, and focus. We talk about this almost every day. It's the main ingredient in the Chalk Daily, which is changing lives. We have guys taking this every day. This is the only one that's specifically for men. Every other Chalk supplement can be taken by men or women. But these types of ingredients, if you're getting these superfoods in your system and you're getting the micronutrients into your system, you're getting the beetroot extract that's in the Action 2.0, which increases nutrient delivery, like I said, and blood oxygen content. You are taking your body from a synthetic, genetically modified hybrid, which is what they're trying to feed you with all the stuff at the store, and you are instead restoring and rejuvenating your system to its peak function. That is what your body is designed to be in a state of. Someone was asking yesterday, they want to get this piercing, they want to get a tattoo. All I was saying is this, is that your body is designed to be exactly the way it is right now in terms of your biology. And when they're adding these fake things to the food, the water, the this, the that, they're taking your natural state and putting it into a altered state. That's why you want to rejuvenate. The most popular Chalk supplements that are for women is definitely the Shilajit and the Tongkat 100, because both of these are adaptogens that adapt to the individual's needs and requirements. Do not buy these yet. Let me tell you the codes, because otherwise you do not want to, you don't want to get it full price. You always want to do the discount, and I will tell you what the two codes are in a second. But remember that the most popular combination for men is the Daily Action Combo. And first and foremost for men, daily, first and foremost for women is the Shilajit. 100%. If you're taking these two superfood formulas, these blends of ingredients that have been clinically studied, I just want you to know this, okay? I just want you to know this. If you're taking the Rhodiola rosea that's in the Action 2.0, you will have more energy. It says right on it, all day natural energy. I take this every single day. It does increase mental capabilities, does increase mental clarity, concentration, focus, all these mental faculties that have been bled from the population because of the fluoride and these strange ingredients that they're adding and these pollutants that you don't want. So if you're trying to rejuvenate and restore yourself, now especially would be the time, based on the fact that Chalk extended for 10 more slots, because after the live feed yesterday, probably 15, 20 people filled up the slots. Chalk had to close down the deal. They opened up 10 more slots to get either 44% off lifetime discount on any subscription or bundle using the code 44life, or use the code 60OFF for 60% off all orders store-wide. That's the two codes that Chalk has at chalk.com, CHOQ.com. Like I said, for those who are wondering, especially someone says, dude, the Shilajit, man, I saw a super cheap Shilajit from Amazon. Yes, you can buy extremely cheap Shilajit. Go for Matt, just DM Chalk, tell them I sent you for the discount that you are seeking. Say you want the 44% off lifetime discount and you want this code and it's from Connecting Consciousness. That would be the best thing to do. They will modify your cart, no problem. The other one that people are asking about, the Shilajit. Yes, Shilajit in its natural form is solid. So anytime you get Shilajit that is in tar in a jar form, you will see a lot of Shilajit that's in tar in a jar. And that is minimum 20 to 30% water. Okay, so people are paying 20 to 30% for 20 to 30% of their pay is going to water when they buy the Shilajit. Not to mention, so it's watered down, and then it does not have as much of the full range of benefits as something like the purified Shilajit from Chalk, which is concentrated. It is a concentrate. And it varies in color seasonally due to the natural fluctuations of the temperature and the sunlight that happens in the regions that shilajit is harvested from. Anyone who's asking what shilajit is, it is a substance that exudes or oozes, doesn't grow, but it squeezes out the sides of gigantic crevices and cracks in mountain ranges throughout the Himalayas. The Himalayan mountains. It is a superfood. It doesn't grow though. It's a totally unique substance, unlike anything else in the world. And they have clinical studies on it showing that it supports healthy hair, skin, and nails. It supports endocrine system. It boosts brain function, and it balances hormones. So for guys, it'll boost your testosterone 21% in 90 days. And for women, it'll balance and support natural optimization of your endocrine system, all your estrogen levels, melatonin, serotonin. Go for Matt said, can I add to my subscription? I already have. Yes, just DM Chalk, tell them your name or your email, and they will apply whatever changes you want to the account. So I'm going to take a double dose of the purified shilajit now. And good question. 15, 20, when that kicks in, boom, bang, bing. You will feel like another person the first day you take it. I'm just joking. The clinically studied benefits are based on 90 days. So some people feel it right away. Some people feel it after a couple days. Other people, it's a couple weeks. You got to remember, you may have been drinking contaminated water and eating contaminated food for several decades, depending on how old you are right now. Therefore, you want to give yourself the time that you require to rejuvenate and restore. Chuck Ray said, just 1 pill a day. The Shilajit daily recommended dose is 1. The daily recommended dose is 2. The action recommended dose is 3. So it varies depending on which supplement you're getting. But this one's all about all-day natural energy. Then you have the daily, which is for brain function, stamina, endurance, natural energy levels as well, but also the full 40 trace minerals that are extremely important, and that's present in the purified Shilajit. Daniel Greco stopped promoting that due to a business disagreement unrelated to the product. A very good question. That was like 2 years ago too, man. So anyways, we got a whole bunch of questions rolling in here. But by the way, do not go to chalk.com and buy full price. Make sure you use the code 60OFF, 60OFF, or use for 60% off all orders store-wide, or go and use the code 44LIFE for a 44% off lifetime discount on any subscription or bundle. Do not miss out on that. Like I said, it's temporarily extended for 10 slots. After last night, the deal got fully capped. This is a good question, Harris said, and that's good, Daniel. I'm glad you asked. I appreciate your inquiry. Do you have to take a break from Shilajit and CMOS, or can you have capsules every day? So the recommended doses are based on every single day. It is formulated to take every single day. But I will say this. Most supplements, they say cycle, take them on, take them off, take it on and off. But in my opinion, if you've been consuming fluoride and GMOs and pesticides and chemicals and these ingredients for literally a very long time, you never cycled those pollutants. So I don't bother cycling. I don't cycle Tonkat 100. I take it every single day. I don't cycle the Action 2.0. I take it every single day to reap maximum benefits and do everything I can to restore and rejuvenate from the years of potential pollutants that have infested our systems. That's an eerie thought, but it is true. So let's see another question here. I don't know, spread positivity 001. We're going to have to find out, man. We're going to have to find out. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm choosing to know off the top of my head. Do you think there will be like a civil war when more people start realizing they're taking our rights from us? I think if there's one place that there's to be a civil war, it could be in the United States, could be in Canada. People don't want to have all their rights taken away from them to be saved from an invisible thing that's floating around out there. Sorry, people don't want to do that. And to be honest, your ass is brainwashed if you want someone else to dictate to you how you can live your life so that you're safe. That's the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. Give up all your freedoms to be safe. How are people falling for that? How is family members I know falling for that? How is friends and family falling for this most obvious shit I've ever seen in my life? Pardon my French, but Sam damn, man. Are you kidding me? People are falling for this system. Give up every single damn right and freedom you have to be safe. Yo, your job as a government is not to keep me safe. It is to the government's job is to make sure is to protect your rights. It is to protect your rights and freedoms. And they're supposed to serve you. But when it's the other way around and you're serving them because you're paying all their bills and then they're telling you what you can do, like it's literally the most mind-blowing thing I can imagine. Like, I can't believe that I was this soul 26 years ago that was floating around in space wherever I was in the other dimensions. And I'm like, yo, I'm signing up. I'll take that gig. And a bunch of different souls got together and said, who's going to be this guy? And my soul was like, I'll be that guy. And then I was born vaginally. And I didn't get breast milk, but at least I wasn't C-sectioned. And I got the recommended dose of the that they want everyone to get at the hospitals nowadays. The schedule for what. And then I was born. Thankfully, I got the microbiome from being born naturally, but I was born in a hospital. But I didn't get the forceps, but I did get ultrasounded, but. So then I grew up, and now I'm in a reality that is very strange, where they're trying to take away the thing that makes you a damn human being, which is freedom. If you take a lion and put it in a cage, okay? It's safe, it's secure, it won't be killed, it'll be fed. But what would that damn lion want? To be in a cage and safe and secure and fed and well taken care of? Or out in a gigantic field in the savannas of Africa with no guarantee of him being fed? That is what they prefer. So do you want to be peacefully enslaved or dangerous freedom? Because I would sooner have dangerous freedom, boy. I would. Someone said I was born by a C-section. What's up with that? Well, the problem with this is if you were born with a C-section, and you can't look poorly upon your mom for doing this, but just so you know, the 99% of C-sections are fully unnecessary. Fully unnecessary. Fully fake news. Again, it's a rebellion against God. It's a rebellion against the natural world. It's a rebellion against the prime creator. That's what the hospital medical system is designed around. It's actually satanic if you want to talk about it. They're still circumcising children. They're still circumcising boys, which is literally satanic. It's the most evil fucking thing you've ever heard in your life. In every country, it's illegal to do a female circumcision, like in different parts of the Middle East, but other than parts of the Middle East, which do allow that. But for some reason, it's illegal to do that for girls in North America and Europe, but it is fully legal for guys to have that done to them. That is extremely whack. This whole system, if you were to put it this way, hospitals are for sick and dying children. It is not sick and dying people, rather. It is not for a healthy, natural childbirth. That's not where you go to have a child, is a hospital. That's not what hospitals are for. They're for sick and dying people. A natural process, like having a baby, should be done at your home, on your back deck, in your backyard, in a pool, in your bathtub, anywhere but a hospital where they traumatize and torture people with messed up procedures and satanically sacrifice. Also, by the way, so anyway, what's up with C-section? Well, what happens is they cut you open. They make it so you don't get to be born through the birth canal, which is where you get coated with a natural microbiome building, membrane and substance that gives you a strong immune system. And they also, if you're C-sectioned, you were not ready to be born. If you're not born, you weren't ready to be born. So if they induced you, like induction is what you do when you get induced into a cult. Okay, secret societies have an induction. They induce you as what's the term? Where they initiate you. They also call it inducing you into the cult. Okay, so when you're getting induced, what you're doing is you're altering the natural divine timing of the childbirth. Forget about, it's too late, it could be a risky risk. Forget about, everyone's always worried about the timing, when their due date is. And if they're late, their midwife starts calling them up. Their doctor starts calling them up. Yo, you're late. There could be a complication. Yo, doc, I got something for you, doc. The baby will be born. Sorry, I flipped everyone off, but really, this is what I'm talking about. These doctors have no clue what they're doing. Hey, doctor, the baby will be born when it is designed to be born. In other words, when it's ready to be born. When the baby is ready to be born, it produces and has a combination, a reaction with the mother where it will produce some hormones, and that breaks the water. And when the water breaks, the baby's born naturally. Woo! You can't stay pregnant forever. You cannot stay pregnant forever. So please don't worry that you're late. And if the baby isn't induced, if we don't cut a hole in your water, poke a hole in your water, yada yada, then what happens is they worry that if you don't do that, there's meconium, there's a bacterial risk, yada yada. Your body was designed to be much more efficient than need to be poked and prodded in your private areas to get the birth going. You don't need that. That's fake news. Don't get an induction. And if you have got one, don't feel bad about it. You didn't know, but just know that is fully, that is fully against the natural world. You're altering the natural birth. And it also messes up the astrological, when the baby is supposed to be born based on its soul, what the soul chooses to be born at, what time of day, what day of week. The baby is supposed to choose that. And by inducing your baby, you are altering its natural birth date. And another thing is that I will kick that chick out because clearly she's not paying it. Oh, she's a nurse. See, I already know she's a nurse. That chick who just said I'm on crack is a nurse. I'm looking at her profile picture. She had nurse shit on. So very, very strange. That's how brainwashed these people are. And it's hard to say. So this guy disagrees, but I'm not even going to talk about that on here just because it's a little bit grody to talk about. But I can tell you that is completely false. You do not need to cut off. You don't need to remove 16,000 nerve endings, 8,000 nerve endings and 16 different functions to be, and you don't need to cut off this certain part of a guy in order to have hygiene. There's these things, called showers and different ways to clean yourself that you don't need to remove a part of your body in order to be clean. That's completely fake. And any organization that sponsors or believes in the genital mutilation of children is very, very, it's not quite right. We'll put it that way. Especially because it's non-consensual. Technically, it could be considered all kinds of things. Like that's, they don't even give these kids, anesthesia when they do it. They're fully conscious. They say they can't feel it because they're so young. No, you actually cause such trauma that there's mind control that needs to be healed from when the child grows up, if that genital mutilation happened to them. So anyways, that's another story for another day. But all I'm going to say is this. There is definitely a definitive plan to reduce our vitality through these very strange procedures and ingredients. The best thing we could do right now, by far, is to support your system with superfoods. Superfoods can enhance your system and take you to heights you have never been. Take you to heights that have been stolen from you since birth because your endocrine system has a fraction of the hormones, because you were cesarean sectioned, didn't get the bacteria, maybe other procedures happened to you. And all I can say is this: the natural world has superfoods waiting to be established, waiting to be taken by your body and restore you to the state that you were biologically designed to be in. The 2 coupon codes is 60 off for 60% off all orders store-wide, or 44 life for a 44% off lifetime discount at choq.com, choq.com. Do not buy it full price. Make sure you DM me if you're not sure what the codes are. What I was talking about from the Himalayas to answer the Druidis is purified shilajit. Purified shilajit is a superfood adaptogen that optimizes hormones for men and women. It boosts testosterone for men. It balances hormones for women. It increases brain function, energy levels, memory, concentration, focus, you name it. CHOQ has 8 different clinical studies on this specific source of shilajit, and it also has the 40 trace minerals. Every single trace mineral is critically important for a functioning endocrine system, for a functioning digestive tract. Every part of your body you can imagine stops functioning properly when there is not enough minerals. The other thing that I was talking about earlier is the Irish moss for the full matrix of minerals, high purity, Irish Moss from chalk.com. Make sure that you do use the code either 44life or 60 off, and do not miss out, because like I said, there's only 10 slots available for this one. It was temporarily extended for 10 slots. The most popular combination for women is the Shilajit and the Tomcat 100, or the Shilajit and the Irish Moss, or the Shilajit and the 7 Wonders. Very powerful combination of superfoods. Shilajit is the first and foremost, and then any other one is extremely good as well. The other thing that I mentioned was that the Chalk Armor has the astragalus in it, which seems like they want to stop letting people buy. But the astragalus has a clinical study on the ability for it to lengthen telomeres in your DNA. Lengthening telomeres results in anti-aging effects. Your telomeres is what dictates how fast or how slow you age. So the Chalk Armor is a anti-aging superfood blend of other ingredients as well that are super good for energy levels, hormone metabolism, your immune system, immunoregulation. Anything that boosts your immune system will also boost fertility, will also boost skin health, nail health, brain, eyeball health, you name it. If you're getting the wide range of these superfoods that are designed for you to take, I can tell you this, that the Prime creator had in mind that they're not going to need to get you, I don't want to use the word medicine, but I want to say there's very beneficial compounds already in the natural world. Maximus Brits said, I'm about to get chalk. Is it safe to take Shilajit Daily and Action 2.0 at the same time? The Shilajit Daily Action combo is a highly popular combination of those three. That is perhaps the most popular for men. This guy said, Zinski said, I live in Sweden, would love to buy chalk, but the fee for shipping and customs fee / import tax is so high. What can I do? This is what I would do. Because you're overseas, you're going to be spending more, like you said, on shipping, and sometimes they do taxes. The best thing you could do, because the clinically studied benefits of chalk supplements are based on 90 days, the best thing you can do would be to get a multi-month supply and use the code 60 off. That covers shipping. That covers any taxes they would try to give you. That lowers the bottle costs. That's what I would do, is use the code 60 off on a multi-month supply. 3 months of the Shilajit, 3 months of the Daily, 3 months of the Tomcat. That way you get to start to experience the full range of benefits and you see what it's all about. And then maybe after 3 months, you do another order at a different coupon code. How do you spell it? Astragalus? That's exactly how you spell it, brother. Actually, I just assumed your gender. Sorry. So yes, 10 slots open for this deal. 44 life using the code 44 life. You can cancel your subscription anytime, but remember the benefits are based on 90 days, or use the code 60 off for 60% off all orders store wide. DM me with any questions you possibly have. That's chalk.com, CHOQ.com. DM me with any questions. Make sure you join my private Telegram channel. Under Construction said, which one restores the body? Every chalk supplement is highly regarded as something that helps restore and rejuvenate. But the first thing is this, for men, is the Daily Action. Get the Daily Action combo. We will talk extremely soon, everyone. DM me with any questions. Much love, all right?